Well, you consumed that last story so quickly with your morning beverage that I decided to read you another story. This is the same book, and I'm going to read the first chapter. It doesn't have a title again, but you could call this one Maybe. A rabbi and I once engaged in a friendly intellectual hockey match, trying to choose a single word to summarize human wisdom. He submitted a Hebrew word, Timshel. It's found in the oldest story in our common literature, in Genesis, the book of beginnings. After being expelled from the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve had two sons. The elder was called Cain. He was the first man born outside of paradise. In time, Cain grew up and cultivated the land and brought the first fruits as an offering to God. The offering was rejected. Jehovah explained to Cain that he was tangled up with evil. It lurked around his door. But, Jehovah said, you may triumph over evil and have abundant life. Now that's a crucial sentence. The last thing that Jehovah says to Cain. You may triumph over evil and have abundant life. The critical word is the second one, the verb, may, timshel in Hebrew. This term has vexed scholars and theologians for a long time. It sits in the middle of a passage considered one of the 5 most difficult in the scriptures to translate and understand. In context, it has varied meanings, especially in this interchange between Jehovah and Cain. Timshel has been interpreted to mean you shall. That's an order, a command. Timshel has been interpreted to mean you will, which implies predestination. Timshel has even been interpreted to mean you cannot, which suggests hopeless dependence. All these interpretations define a relationship with God that leaves little freedom. My friend the rabbi feels that the practical meaning of that passage of Scripture concerns vitality, meaning don't be dead, or don't be a passive victim, be active, be alive. He reads it as good advice. There is this problem with evil. You really should deal with it. Carry that one step further. If you should, then you may. To interpret timshel to mean you may is to use a word that implies the possibility of choices. The possibility of choice. This is not a matter of theological hair-splitting. I think a strong case can be made that human beings have at least acted as if you may was the correct interpretation, acting as if our destiny is in our hands. Whatever we may think or believe, what we have done is our story. You don't need to be a theologian or belong to any particular religious group to enter this discussion, but you do come down somewhere on this issue of what's possible in your life by how you, in fact, go about your life. You may live this truth one way or another. Back up. You live this truth one way or another. In modern English, timshel means it may be, or simply maybe. Maybe, that's our word, the wisest answer to the ultimate question. A word pointing at open doors and wide horizons. I do not believe the meaning of life is a puzzle to be solved. Life is, I am, anything might happen. And I believe I may invest my life with meaning. The uncertainty is a blessing in disguise. If I were absolutely certain about all things, I would spend my life in anxious misery, fearful of losing my way. But since everything and anything are always possible, the miraculous is always nearby, and wonders shall never, ever cease. I believe that human freedom may be stated in one term, which serves as a little brick propping open the door of existence. Maybe.